Okay guys, so in this tutorial I will show you how BrickIt is working. The first thing is that we will launch it together, and you will notice this loading bar at launch because BrickIt need to load all the bricks into your memory, and that will take some second or minute, a bit of time. So be sure to just wait the UI launch like that. So it's a bit long, but you know, we just have to open once when we do a Lego session. So just launch. It's like a software, you launch it and then it's okay. Well, so this is a fresh, new, completely redesigned UI, which is way more powerful than the 1.0 version. On the top, you have the toolbar with some tools. And in the middle, the most important, the Lego library. Okay, all the bricks. Okay, yes, you have two library, the Lego, let's say the classic one, and the technique. I divide a bit to have a better organization. So Lego and techniques. Great. Each one is divided into category. Okay, so at the beginning there is, at the first time, there is a lot of category and bricks. So you will need a bit of time, you know, to know how it's organized and where to find the brick you're looking for. But you will see after some time to practice that will be logical and you will be faster than at the beginning. So let's say bricks, for example. I will click on bricks, round, cone, modified. Okay, here are the plates with subcategory and so on. You can reduce and expand all if you want. And yes, pretty all. Of course, you have each brick in the thumbnail in the center. You can, with this slider, adjust the size of the thumbnail. And you have in the middle the name of the brick in case you need it. It's pretty useful when you need, you know, dimension. For example, I'm looking for a plate which is, let's say, 6. You just come here and you see it's a plate 1x6. Okay, it's a 6, 8, 10, 12, and so on. So you have the dimension of the bricks, and which is really useful here. Here it's a charge bar, so it's, you have to be careful about the charge bar. Okay, be kind with it because there is a lot of bricks. It's just a script, so it's not as powerful as Google Chrome. Let's say, for example, I'm looking for, I don't know, tile modify this one. Okay, so of course I know it's here, but I'm looking for this piece. You don't find it. I will look how the name is. Okay, it's tile modified 1_x. Okay, so you have to say, okay, if I tile modified, and you still can understand, can hit enter or click on this icon, and you will have everything with tile modify, and the brick is here. Okay, and you can continue with space 1x. Okay, and now you reduce the choice on all the library. Same thing here, the plate 1, plate space 1. Okay, all of that. So x. You see, you just don't type a full name, just type one word, and you already have enough to create bricks. Okay, let's continue about the UI. Here you can expand or reduce a bit the outliner size if you want to adjust. And here it's an outliner mode, but if you click on this 3-dot icon, you will switch to tabs mode, okay? With main tab and sub tab on the bottom. Okay, it's the same thing, it just, you can choose between the two. It's as you prefer. Okay, it's pretty all about the library UI already. I hope you will like it. Yes, there is a favorite tab. I already have one. When you have a specific, when you have some brick you want to use often and be difficult, I don't know, this one for example. Anyway, you just right click and you have the name of the brick and you can add to favorite, okay? And now you can access the favorite in the outliner with the icon is on the top, okay? In tab mode, it's here, and in outliner, it's here. You can notice the brick don't appear. It's normal, you have to relaunch and refresh the UI. So just add some you want, then the next time you will launch, the favorite will appear. And you have a favorite in techniques too, which is independent, okay? So it's two different empty slots for favorite. It's better to organize for you too. Okay, same thing for the techniques. You can right click, add to favorite. Before to go with the bricks, I just would like to show you something in setting to open the setting windows. Here you will find some UI scaling option. You have the UI scale, small or normal, and the Windows UI scale. Okay, you know in Windows you can set also in place of the monitor size. If you have a 4K, a 2K, okay, you know, you also can choose and set the Windows UI scale. Okay, so do some tests to find the best icon size and UI size you want. You also have an option for the import bricks. By default is left click, but you can do a double click if you prefer. The clean favorite tabs will just empty the both favorite tabs, okay, if there is something you want to clean. Brick request issue. It's the early version of BrickIt. There is a lot of brick we do manually with a team, but you can have some issue with the brick. So you can have missing brick. So to check missing brick, I will show you later how to do it. But you can have a problem with normal or bug or a bad pivot placement, missing voxel anchor point. Okay, a lot of things. So just go to the Discord in using this link and post. Do a proper post. Okay, so I need this brick with a reference, brick link, reference image, or if you have a problem, you open the problem. And of course, I want you to post in the BrickIt gallery your rips and your final Lego set build. Okay, this was for the setting. I will keep the UI floating. I like that, but of course it's completely dockable. Okay, it's designed to be dockable too, but I prefer to keep it floating. Okay, I will put it on the right, go back to the Lego tab, to the bricks, the classic bricks. We will start, I advise you to start with some tests with me, with the simple bricks. Okay, let's import 2x2. Okay. When you click, the brick always import in the viewport. I can activate anti-aliasing. Okay, now I have my brick. Great. Of course, you need to have Arnold installed because bricks are working with Arnold. It's not, a brick is not a geometry mesh, okay? It's not at all like that. Because Maya geometry mesh, you can right click and access to vertex and things like that. Here, if I right click, you see there is nothing. It's a specific component, which in fact, if you want to know, it's Arnold proxy, which is called an AI stand-in, okay, which have a voxel point and a geometry inside. So don't touch anything in the outliner, but the brick are a specific component. But of course, we have a bake option, so I will show you later. You can bake at the end or at any moment this to a true geometry if you need to edit, add a sticker or anything. But when you are, let's say, in a build mode, you have to be in with this. Okay, so one bricks, I can select it and Control D So now I have 2 bricks. And what you have to do is just to use your snapping vertex with V, and you snap, you see. You will have some anchor point that will snap in the really nice Lego feeling. You will see it's really natural, and you will immediately understand how to deal with that. You see, I can Control D and easily duplicate and place my Lego as I want. If I want, for example, put it on the bottom, I can duplicate. And the same way, you will have to place the pivot point where you want to be anchored. For example, I want this top to be here, so I will go to the edit pivot point, and I will place it here because I want now to snap with here, and just boom, snap into the bottom. You see, it's only what you have to do. And now with V, I can, with my shaping, I can do it. Pretty natural and simple. Let's go to technique. Let's use technique bricks. As you notice, that always create at the center of the grid, which is normal in Maya. So when you build, I advise you to just put your model a bit go away. Okay, I go away. I will import a linker like that, and you see for every brick that works pretty naturally. This is really right. Okay, so I think you got it. Now, let's talk about some little helper tips. Most of the time, you will have to rotate your bricks to align in the desired position. But you see, you will not rotate like that. You know, you will have to rotate with some straight 45 degree or thing like that. Okay, it's always, you know, with a G, you can lock your rotation to be perfect. But it's a bit, and here I have to go to snap mode. It's a bit, you have to deal with your keyboard and hotkey. So 2 tips. The first one is to activate with this button the auto snapping mode, which means I activate this mode. In fact, it's just a shortcut to this icon here. And now look, I just duplicate, and I don't have to hit the snapping hotkey anymore. It's always in snapping mode. Okay, so I just duplicate and it's always in snapping mode. So most of the time it's way better and faster. But sometimes you can have some conflict where it's deactivate here but not here. Okay, so it just UI, you see I lose it. So just deactivate and reactivate, and that will come back. Okay, so first tips is you can activate the auto snapping. And the second one is just, you know, if you keep the rotate tool letter and you click, you can go to rotate option, or you can use the option box here, and you can specify a step snap here to relative and enter a value. You can use catch this, but 19, sorry, but I prefer this value. Okay, and now you don't have to use the discrete hotkeys anymore. It's automatic in this value, by the way, same thing. And you can quickly switch with a discrete rotate activated or not. That will switch to free mode or to step by step, yes, rotation. Well, let's now have a look about the display of our bricks, because there is different kind of display. For that, I will add some lighting into my scene. So of course you can create your own lighting studio, but what I advise you is to use and import directly the Lego Studio BrickIt I create for you. For that, it's with this icon. You just click once and it will automatically import for you a simple but efficient BrickIt lighting studio, okay, with the background, the center, everything for you. Okay, and once it's import, you can click again to just hide or showing it. Great. You also have a render cam, but we will see it later. Okay, now I have a lighting here. Of course, you can go to show a viewport and hide locator or thing. Okay, I will just create a sphere here to compare and show you what I want. If you activate your lighting viewport, I will activate also, yes, my shadow, ambient occlusion, okay, all what we like. It's great for my sphere, of course, because it's a geometry. But you can notice my brick don't have nice lighting and nice shadow. Why? Because what we just saw previously is that it's not true geometry. It's a component that are not affected by and not working with viewport lighting. Okay, and it's a bit problematic because we would like to have the viewport, a great viewport feeling. So it's why I create two modes. One which is a build mode to build your brick like we did, and one which is a lighting mode. So you can switch with the tractor. We are currently in build mode, and we can go to light display mode. Okay, and now we are on lighting mode with a true geometry, which receive my lighting correctly. I can select my lighting here. Okay, and if I rotate, I can see now the lighting affect the brick. Perfect. And you are locked. Okay, you can't move or modify the brick or snap or create a new one. You can create a new one in this mode. It's just for preview purpose. Okay, you have to switch back to the build mode to continue to build your bricks and manipulate them. Okay. Same thing, wireframe and shade mode don't affect this component, the brick component. You have to use those buttons to go to shade or wireframe mode. Okay, now let's have a look about the shading. So to open the material, you just click on this icon and that will open you the color assignment for our bricks. I will just hide, yes, my lighting studio for now and go back to my bricks. Okay, select bricks. I want to apply a red color. I apply that. So be sure to be up to date to your MTOA most recent version, or you will not be able to have the color feedback in the viewport. Okay, it's something really recent in Arnold, and you have to be sure to have the most recent Arnold version. Okay, and yes, so simple than that. You select the brick and you click to apply the color you want. When you will switch to geometry mode, that will also display correctly. I think it's pretty simple. You click to assign a color, okay, all right. And you can see here some odd case note. I try to make it simple. Here it's the classic Lego bricks color, okay, nothing fancy, it's just my shading. But you know there is some specific bricks, transparency, some grainy one, okay. For that, you see a simple click is a solid color. this one. But if you shift click on a color, that will create the transparent shader version of it. Okay, let's try this one. I want to create a red transparency with a shift click that creates the transparent version of the bricks. And with a control click, it's a grainy version. So that will not appear in the viewport, but you know, it's a bit bumpy on the face when we will render. So 3 different shader with one same color slot. And with alt click, we can access the attribute. So it's a bit a more extra feature. I advise you to don't touch that at the beginning. But if you alt click so on a color, that will give you direct access to the attribute of this shader. So you can modify a bit. You know, it's for the render. As you know, it's impossible to have a shader that match all the lighting condition. So if at the final render you found your red tint is not enough red or orange, you can modify the shader here, and that will affect all the bricks that have the red shader assigned. Okay, but do it at the end when you are in the lighting and rendering stage. Okay, but I click that access you the shader without open the hypershade. Great. Last things, way powerful and useful, is, let's say, for example, I add a bit complicated. You see there is a lot of color and some are really similar. So the brown, for example, when you do that, the problem is one day later, you don't remember which brown I use here. Okay, it's difficult. This one, difficult because we can already tell that. So for that, I create a pick and assign. So you select this brick, for example, and you pick it. And it will tell you, okay, it's the light brown. The light brown is, I don't know, if you go to the name, you have the ID and the name of each color. Okay, the light brown is this one, but you don't have to click it. Just come in and click directly here. Okay, and now you can assign. Same thing. I need this one, which was the red transparent. Okay, now I can apply the red transparent here. Well, now if you want to do a render, let's see it together. I will switch on my lighting, go to the render cam, for example. I will frame a bit my awesome Lego set. Open the Arnold render view. I will reduce this guy. Okay, let's go together the render setting. Okay, here is my sized, and go to Arnold. Arnold works pretty well. BrickIt works pretty well with Arnold GPU. So I advise you to go to System and to GPU. Okay, when you do this, set the camera okay here, and you know the important thing is you have to go to adaptive sampling, and yes, switch here when you want to finish. But this kind of value is pretty decent. Okay, I will render. Wait a bit the first time, and boom. Of course, I will up my resolution size a bit. Yes, it's best this way. Okay, and you see I have my bricks rendering. So it's fast, but not enough for me. You go to the render view setting here, and you will add, you know, the denoiser, which is the optics one. Okay, AI image denoiser enable, and that will improve a lot the speed at the beginning of the preview, and that works pretty well with the bricks because bricks are, you know, flat area, and that immediately give you a nice feedback. You see, just wait a bit, and I quickly have a nice preview. My PC, my computer is a bit old, but I think on the great machine that could be pretty fast. If I disable that, you see all the noise, and I have to wait way longer to have a look of it. So yes, this is the tricks. And what is great, if you have one more time a good computer, not like me, you can, I will go just to the perspective, and you can activate. So with the recording that will be a bit heavy, so I will reduce maybe my view. You know, you can activate the viewport CPU, GPU, and directly deal. But on my case, I have some bugs. You see the shading is not the great one. I don't know. It's a bit buggy for me, unfortunately. I think I have to, where is, I have to activate, enable this again. Yes, I forget that. And okay, so activate it. Yes. And you should be able to work with your bricks directly with that. So it's not working perfectly, but that's an idea. Okay, so this is all the tips about rendering. Well, so now let's see about bricks management. So of course you have all your bricks here, and you can select, let's say I want to select them, group them, you then place the pivot here of your groups, and now you can snap and move your entire groups. Great. You can also use symmetry, you know, because most of the time Lego builds are symmetrized, and you don't have to do both sides 2 times. You can just say, okay, I want to, I don't know, select these bricks, and I want to flip them on, you see here, my X axis. So you can come here, and X, Y, Z here are for symmetry. You select bricks and just hit, and it's work in a world axis. Okay, so that will symmetrize in the other side. And yes, that symmetry, my bricks. Okay, with everything respect correctly, I can select that and say, okay, I want, I don't know, Y axis. A bit strange, but that's possible. Nice. And it's pretty all, you know, at least everything. We will look about these 2 icons in the practical tutorial. Okay, next one. I will just finish with the bake to geo. If you want to render in another renderer, like Very Redshift, RenderMan, or even to export to Unreal Engine, anything, you will just need something is to have just true geometry. So let's say, okay, I want to bake this to a geometry. You use this icon, bake, select bricks as mesh, and boom, that will create a brick geobake, and you have your brick, which is now baked. Of course, you can't snap anymore correctly. That don't work. So you just save your scene, you create a new scene, and you can bake it. Of course, you can bake everything. You just have to select everything if you want. I want to bake all of that. Okay, I'm select, and boom, I'm baked it. And I have all my bricks baked in place. You can go edit geometry, do everything. It's also important if you want to add granny on only one face, you know. If you want to do UV to add the stickers, you will need geometry. So in some cases, it's important. Okay, so it's all for the basics. Now I will do with you one Lego set build to show you not only the tool, but the, you know, the workflow, how to set it to do the workflow, and also some little tips together, which are okay, some advanced tips. with BrickIt, so I really advise you to follow this tutorial too.